How many of you would like to know how to write a book that attracts high ticket clients to your business? Hi, everyone. It's Melinda Cologne. And today we are talking about what it takes to be a full time author, speaker, and coach making $1 million per year. Lots of people want to do this, but don't know where to actually start. Melanie Warner is one of the top media experts in the world. Melanie is an international keynote speaker, a USA Today and Wall Street Journal bestselling author, and CEO of Defining Moments Press. She has coached thousands of subject matter experts on finding their purpose and monetizing their knowledge through writing books and being featured in the media. Melanie has owned magazines and newspapers for over 30 years. And she is also a journalist who writes about business and has been featured in Entrepreneur, Fortune, Forbes, CNN, and many more. Melanie is the executive producer of the new hit PBS TV show, Recipe for Wellness, which airs in 250 million homes. She has also been hired and endorsed by Tony Robbins, Ian Graciosi, and the founders of the Chicken Soup for the Soul, Mark Victor Hansen and Jack Canfield. She has worked with companies, government organizations, C suite executives, celebrities, athletes, authors, speakers, and coaches to harness and leverage the power of the media to build their personal brand and create a lasting legacy. Thank you so much for being here, Melanie.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Now, can you tell me what inspired you to get started?
Oh, Melinda, that's such a great question. See, I always wanted to be an author and a speaker since I was in high school. I love books. I was such a book nerd, still am. And I had a mentor named Tony Robbins. Now he's been a mentor of mine for many, many years. And I watched how he grew his business from just a few people to millions of people. And I even worked for Tony as a trainer for a while. But I couldn't quite figure out how do I launch my own business. I knew what I wanted to do, I just didn't know how. I also wrote a book that was part of the Chicken Soup for the Soul. This is my first book that I wrote called Defining Moments, Coping with the Loss of a Child. And this was a Chicken Soup for the Soul book. And I thought the key to writing a book was having a big publisher. But then I realized, no, it isn't. In fact, they sold their company along with my book, and I had to start over with a different publisher. So then it took another couple of years, and I went in and published with one of the largest Christian publishers. And then after another couple of years, guess what happened? I never got paid a dime.
Oh
Not
no,
one dime. And I sold thousands of books. So
nightmare.
I got my rights back. I released my own book, and 2 weeks later, it was on the bestseller list. So I thought, wow, okay, now the money's going to start rolling in, right?
Yeah.
And I realized I made another big mistake, Melinda. See, people were reaching out to me as the expert who literally wrote the book on it.
Mm,
And these were parents. I had lost my son, and so I had written a book as a resource for parents who lost a child. So I started getting all these parents calling me, and some of them were fighting. They were going through divorce. Some of them were using medication or alcohol for, their pain. Some of them were even suicidal. And I freaked out because I went, I don't know what to say to these people.
mm,
I've never even worked at a suicide hotline, right? Like I'm not a coach, I'm not a counselor. So I went back to my friend Tony Robbins and I said, "What do I do?" And he said, "Well, what are your options?" I said, "Well, I can go become a coach. I said I can go become a marriage family counselor." And he goes, "How long will that take?" And I said, "Probably 2 years." And he said, "Where will they be? These people
mm.
need help now." And I went, I don't want to think about their pain is so bad. I just want to help them get out of this pain, but I don't know what to do. And so I realized that going that route wasn't going to help my readers and it wasn't going to help me. And it wasn't just about selling a book for a few bucks, right? No one's really getting wealthy, especially not making $1 million a year by just selling books for $20 or $15.
Right.
Um, and so Tony had this amazing program called Strategic Intervention, and he told me about it. He made me an offer that I couldn't refuse, and I ended up becoming a coach. And I became a master life coach and business coach. I learned all these amazing tools that not only helped me heal, and cope with the loss of losing my son. But I went through all these horrible things when I shut down after my son died. I went through bankruptcy, foreclosure,
Wow.
tax audits. I had to go to tax court and represent myself in federal tax court. But guess what? I won, and they conceded on all charges. And it was like, I just felt like I was being buried, right? Like I had all these horrible things happening in my life. Like, why is all this happening? And now I can look back and connect the dots and I can see that I was being planted because God showed me all these incredible lessons during that time. He helped me get through the worst time of my life. And I learned these steps and tools along the way. And one of the things I did that made the biggest impact on my life, my family, my impact, my income, and even generations to come was one thing, and that was writing a book because it built my authority instantly. And so writing a book took me from negative $3.6 million in debt when I had to shut down my business at 20 years. And instantly I became an authority in my field. And then I got the tools as a coach to learn how to monetize the back end of the book. And that changed everything for me and my family. And so I created this method called the seven-figure book method. And I've been operating that for years and now teaching thousands of people how to write a book and use that expertise to get high ticket clients or serve other people on the back end of that book.
Wow. Wow. I mean, your story is so, I mean, I could relate to that. Such a beautiful story. Tell
Thank
me
you.
more about this system. I mean, because this system, I want it. Like, how do you do this? You have a system, a complete program called the seven figure book method. Like, break it down for us.
So, for almost 3 decades now, I've helped thousands and thousands of people discover their true purpose and then show them how to turn pain into purpose or turn that purpose into profits and build and expand their platforms from executives to relationship gurus to startups to military leaders, even government officials, CEOs. I produce a TV show right now that airs in 250 million homes. So there's all these amazing platforms that happen once you build that authority and have that credibility. And then I found that all these journalists were coming to us saying, "Oh, you've got all these amazing experts." And I call it our people library, right? You know how you walk into a library and there's just so much knowledge in these books everywhere. You just fall in
Mm.
love with these books. Now I have all these people that are experts in over 300 industries. So journalists started coming to me saying, "Hey, can you find us a fitness expert that can be give us a quote on this particular thing happening in the fitness industry by 3 p.m. tomorrow because they have a newspaper deadline, or people looking for podcast hosts." So it wasn't just writing books. It became, I realized as you write a book and build authority, then your book gets you booked on stages, in the media, on podcasts. And all of a sudden, you have multiple income streams because you could sell your book, you could get paid to speak or consult. You have a high ticket coaching offer on the back end. But then I thought, well, how is it that you use this book as a funnel? And so many people were so focused on the book that they missed the bigger picture. And
Mm.
especially because all the gurus for years were telling me to give your book away. And I saw people like Alex Hormozy, Russell Brunson, Tony Robbins making $100 million off giving away their book. And when I stopped giving away my book and started selling it, and I put my book at the front end of my funnel, all of a sudden it solved the problem of credibility, authority, the know, like, and trust factor. And I started getting much more high quality leads on the front end. And the book helped ascend people into my back end offer. So now I started seeing people that wanted to buy these five, $10,000 solutions, and they were coming in like 4 or 5 days. They would download my book, and within a couple of days, they would hop on a call with me and be so excited that I had the solution for them that it easily ascended them into a high ticket offer. So I realized I created this program for, authors, speakers, thought leaders, coaches, people that were stuck in uncertainty of how do I sell more books? How do I get on more stages? How do I build more authority and credibility to get people who want to work with me? Right? Have you ever sat in an audience and you watched like Dr. Oz or Tony Robbins or Susie Orman or Oprah, and the audience is just so engaged? and they're going crazy for everything they say and anything they endorse. And maybe you thought, huh, I could do that, but you don't know where to start. This is the path. This is the path, the seven-figure book method. And we call it, when you use this method, it's like your book helps you get booked. And it gives everyone, leaders, executives, teams, entrepreneurs, working moms, right? We call them thought leaders. And it helps people who've overcome something in their own life or business give practical steps and learn how to monetize their knowledge and turn their own path or pain into purpose. And it expands your capability to maximize not only your impact, but your income.
Wow. Okay. So, I mean, this totally makes sense now. When you're putting your book out there, then you are elevating yourself to an authority that people are attracted to, they're drawn to. And it's that story that's deep inside us that we don't even know how to articulate. But this system helps you do that. So it attracts the masses and the right buyers to become high ticket clients, which is ultimately how we get that $1 million a year that we're all wanting to have. So, what happens when you don't understand this process, the methodology itself?
That's a great question. What happens is we make a lot of mistakes and
Mm.
it takes years and a lot of money to do it the wrong way. I invested over $500,000 to learn this and multiple years. I mean, anywhere from 10 to 15 years. I paid for master classes. I paid for, masterminds. I hired gurus. I launched a book without a coaching program. I started speaking on stages for free and didn't have a way to monetize. I started
Wow.
doing book signings and nobody showed up. And then
Wow.
I created a high ticket offer on the back end. So it didn't matter if I gave my book away or even spoke for free, I could still monetize any platform. And our clients average about $26,000 per speaking engagement, even if it's free, like a Rotary event. That's what's so cool. And there's a whole process to this that took me forever to learn it. And now I just want to make it like it's like the fast pass at Disneyland, right? Like I just want you to have the shortcut. I want you to know exactly what I did, and it can shave off literally decades off of trying to figure all this out on your
Mm.
own. And more
Yeah.
importantly, Melinda, what's working now in the world after COVID? How do you not only write this book quickly, but how do you write a book that's going to be like this book, Think and Grow Rich, right? This book that's been out almost 100 years. How do you write this kind of book that has so much value fast? Okay. I'm not talking about spending 30 years like Napoleon Hill did. You can take that same process and condense it now into about 30 days because of modern technology and all these amazing things that we have and ability to communicate faster and better. And so, when I did my first master class, I was nervous. I didn't have tech skills. I didn't have a big team, right? Sometimes if you don't have something, it's in the room.
Mm.
And so it's like I found all these different strategies through the years of how to collaborate with people. And we do the same things when we do books and we do events. And so there's just so many moving parts that I realize people are doing a lot of work. Most of you have probably been doing all this stuff. You're doing all the things. You're dancing on TikTok, you're running ads, you're posting constantly, maybe to crickets, or you're running ads and you're giving everything away for free and you're wondering why are these people not showing up for my calls, right? Getting
Mm.
ghosted on sales calls. Because people pay attention when they pay. So when you give everything away for free on the front end, you're attracting freebie seekers. And we
Mm.
all know people that get something for free, they don't value it. So when you just sell your book, even for $5, it's amazing how it attracts people that are much more serious versus the people that are just curious.
Yeah. It's so true. A part of one of my systems, my frameworks, is the heart head selling method. And at that conversion process, like when we are converting I mean, $5, it doesn't matter, $10, whatever it is, there is a transformation that's occurring right there, not just in exchange of money, but the identity of the person. And it's so important that we lock that in. I love what you're saying right now because it sounds so simple. And I'm sure the framework really what you have like leaned in, what you've established as mastery took years. It took time. It took a lot of trial and error, as you shared before. And now you've created it so that people can do it super fast. But so, what is holding people back then?
Well, what holds people back the most is fear of rejection, usually stemming from childhood wounds where we worry, like, if I put something out there, will people laugh at me? What will they think of? Do I really have anything to say? People say, I have so many books, I don't know where to start. I don't know what steps. I feel overwhelmed. A lot of people say time, I don't have time to write a book. I mean, my first book took me over 25 years because I'd been thinking about doing a book for so long, but didn't know what actual steps to take.
Mm,
And the people that seemed to be the most successful didn't seem to want to share their secrets on how they made so much money.
yep,
So
yep.
it took so much of me learning to do things the hard way, the expensive way, to where I finally said, I don't want anybody I know and love to have to go through all of this. Like, there is a much faster way. And just about anything in life has a process with a few steps. And when you know the steps in the right sequence and you understand the process, it's much easier to get the results.
Yes. So true. I mean, I'm just thinking back at what you shared earlier. $500,000 apply to learning into crafting a system that you are publicly sharing with your audience, with your people. It's so transformative. And I'm so grateful that I know that you're doing this, that you're impacting people's lives so that they can get their voice heard and really, isn't that interesting how our testimonies are actually the tools and templates for someone else? It's just such a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Most of our clients were just me a few years ago,
Mm,
and it's like I created and built this entire company and system wishing that I had this when I started. In fact, Dean Graziosi, who's one of my mentors, said, I wish I had all of this when I wrote my book. And Mark Victor Hansen and Jack Canfield offered me a publishing deal because
wow.
I had so much to share and so much knowledge, but I still didn't know where to put it all. I didn't know how to condense it down and make it in these bite-sized chunks that people could receive it and
Yeah.
digest it, right?
Yeah.
And oftentimes people they want to become an author, a speaker, or they want to get into the coaching game, and they don't have a system. They don't have materials, they don't have tools, they don't think people will pay for their knowledge. And we've taken care of all of that. It is so cool. And it doesn't matter whether you're already a professional doing something. We've had people make money off. One guy went through two divorces, not one, but two. And he
Wow.
wrote a book about bouncing back from divorce because he learned so much about, remaining at like having being a good co-parent and reconciling that relationship and how to protect your assets and how to give your money
Mm,
to your kids and not attorneys, right? Like
yeah.
that's what we all need to know if we've gone through that process. So he learned so much that he ended up coaching and creating a whole high ticket offer. And he has clients that are like experts and Navy SEALs and executives, and they pay him a lot of money to help them learn how to cope and bounce back and maintain the relationship with their kids. So even if you don't have a specific license as an expert, if you've helped anybody else walk through losing weight or solving a relationship issue or a health issue, or you're an expert in your industry, this is a great system for you. Let's say you're in the insurance game and you've been running an insurance agency for 20, 30 years and you've consistently made 6 or 7 figures a year. Think of the thousands of people coming into the industry just getting their license who would love to shave 10 or 20 years off that learning curve. And you could literally write a book, create a course, and even mentor them and charge for one-on-one coaching if you wanted to, or consulting to help them bridge the gap and condense time. And when you can save somebody a decade and teach them a process within a couple of days, they are so grateful and they're willing to pay you for your knowledge. So it's just how do you create these assets quickly? And it's like we have this amazing proprietary process called the client conversion model formula that I found was a secret formula in all of these books that have been successful the last 100 years. I
Mm,
discovered this formula by accident by being such a book nerd. I started applying it to my own books and then teaching it to my clients. And we found that when people read your book, 20 to 30% of them, when you use this formula, want to become a client.
wow.
Whether you're writing a book as a client conversion model, a speaker platform, a list builder. There's a strategy for what you want the audience to do, feel, or think when they're reading your book. So you've got to reverse engineer it and make sure your book is written with that intention in mind. So if you start with your business here or your high ticket offer, then write a book about that. The book is a way to introduce people to your system, and then your offer or back-end solution is how you implement that system, and you charge for that implementation. So that is how you can take a book, highlight your expertise, whatever it is, and generate income for you and impact for your audience.
So good. This is so empowering and it's really inspiring. I mean, I can't wait. I mean, but I'm thinking about the audience and maybe they have a few questions. Like maybe they think that their story is not enough or something like that. Like what else holds people back from your expertise
I
experience?
love this question because the biggest thing I tell people is you've got to write the book people want to read, not just the book you want to write, not just to promote your business. And
Mm,
so a lot of times people want to come in and write their own story, their own memoir, and your story might be powerful. But if you own any type of a business, then you should write a book to help build your business and get clients, because that's going to serve your reader more than just sharing your story. Through that process, you get a chance to share your story. We call it the SOS, the system origin story of how you created the system and the solution that you're offering on the back end of the book. So this works really good for nonfiction books, business how-to books, anything. We've done recipe books this way. We've done self-help books, all kinds of things
wow.
for personal and professional development.
Wow. Okay, so just like anybody. Okay,
Yeah.
so what should listeners do next? Like, how do they take advantage of this opportunity to write a book and to really launch a business to millions?
That is a great question. So how many of you have tried to get a certain result and experience a struggle? You tried something new and you weren't very good at it, right? And so many people are like, I'm not a writer. You don't have to be a writer. Most of the people out there, their big secret is they use a ghostwriter. We have a
Mm,
whole team of people that can come in and literally just extract your knowledge and put it into our formula, and it's done. We've had people write their book in a few days using the formula. And then it takes away the mystery and the overwhelm. And so I know how hard it was. When I wrote the book, I thought the key was to write the book. I thought if I just write the book and put it out there, people will buy it. But Jack Canfield of Chicken Soup for the Soul, who sold more books than anybody on this planet, is the one who told me the secret. It is 10% writing and 90% marketing. So the good news is you
mm,
don't have to be a great writer. You just have to be able to solve a problem for your reader, right? You with me?
yes, that's good.
And that clarity stops overwhelm, not only for you in the process of writing your book, but also for your reader when you're solving a problem for them. You introduce the solution, right? And I love to call it, it's like you attract people. And so your book becomes part of your funnel where you attract people in, you diagnose their pain, and you offer your prescription.
Mm,
And that is how simple marketing can be. That's why I created this half-day training called the Seven-Figure Book Masterclass. In the training, we go deep to help you get past the feelings of overwhelm, imposter syndrome. We give you tools that help you create income-generating assets like a book, your speech, and a converting funnel so that you can get clarity and get these assets created quick. How many of you, how many of you think it would be helpful to get in a room and go deep on achieving this faster way to create the assets instead of trying to figure it out on your own? I want to show you how Kim got her book written, was featured on NBC, attended a party for the Emmys in Los Angeles, and got asked to speak at Microsoft all in the same month. And it
wow.
all started because of a book. And before the training, she was feeling overwhelmed. Who am I to write a book? I don't have time. I don't know where to get started. And just in such a short amount of time, she implemented everything we taught her and executed perfectly. And everything started to snowball from there because she got her book out there. And then
Wow.
she started experiencing how easy it was because once you have your book and especially your funnel set up, then all you have to do is drive traffic to the top of that funnel.
Mm.
And now you're attracting the right clients who really want the solution, and you're giving them something they're so relieved when they find this solution that it naturally leads to other opportunities like consulting and speaking and training and workshops. So if you want tools to help you get clarity on writing a book, speaking on stages, getting featured in the media with one simple system where you don't have to go to a bunch of different places and use Zapier and integrate and do all these things, and you just want one simple solution, we call it the power of one. You get one good idea for one good book. You market it to one audience, and that's how you make $1 million a year. Not doing a whole bunch of different things all over the place, but one thing very well. Now, normally you come to an event like this, it costs you $1,000. You got to travel around the world, you got to go to the place, you got to put your pets away, your kids away, you got to take time off your life. But because we get a chance to be global and do this virtually, I would love to invite you to this. And instead of being $1,000, it's actually just a couple of bucks, a couple of dollars. That's it. And because we want to make sure that you're serious about learning this. So if you click the link below, you're going to see a couple of different options of how you can get a ticket, you can upgrade and get workbooks and all this other stuff. And we're going to give you what you need. We're going to meet you where you are and you can choose what you want, which experience you want. And when you register, you're also going to receive a copy of my best-selling book, The Seven-Figure Book Method, and all the bonuses that come with it, including this very custom AI outline book generator. I built this, and within 15 minutes, like that, you have your entire book outlined. It's amazing. Once you have the outline and you have clarity, it's so much easier to write your book. And in this little training, we're going to walk you through how to do it live. So by the end of the training, you're going to have your entire book outline done, which means you can go write your book in a few days now that you have that clarity. So I'm going to give you all the bonuses, all the tools that you get when you get our actual seven-figure book method, like the book checklist. You're going to be able to join our free Facebook group for authors, speakers, and coaches so you can see how other people are using these tools. You can
Mm.
celebrate their wins. You can promote each other's books. You can give each other book reviews. You're going to be able to join this community where there's over 1,000 people in there. And for all of you who are all in on yourself, right? You're serious, not curious. There's a special VIP where you get an extra hour with me and you get to come into the room before everybody else and ask questions and get some coaching before the main event. You can go behind the scenes with us. There's even an option if you want to book a one-on-one with me. Now, I charge $100,000 a day. I know that sounds like a lot of money, but let me ask you, if I can show you how to make $1 million and I can go set all that up for you in a few days, is it worth paying $100,000 in a day and to save you 20 years if you're going to make 10 times your money back? Do you see how the value is produced there? But I'm not going to charge you $100,000. I'm going to give you a very limited opportunity to actually book a call with me personally. That's also on this page. And that's only when you come through the masterclass, where you get an opportunity to get a one-on-one with me where I can assess where you are and where you need to be and give you a really quick roadmap of the fastest way to get there, right? So imagine if you want to go somewhere and I say, do you want to swim? Do you want to drive in a car or you want to get on my private jet and be there in a few hours? Those are the shortcuts I'm giving you at this masterclass. So upgrade to VIP, choose your experience. It's going to be so much fun. And I want to give those special bonuses for your audience as well, Melinda. So if they come in and get the basic masterclass ticket, I'm going to give them, all of your people, a copy of my book and all the bonuses that come with the book.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. That's insane.
Yeah, it's
Like I'm so excited, Melanie, because what you're saying, what you're talking about here is the difference between being an amateur and a pro. Like there are so many people that are worried about their competitors, but their competitors 99.9% of the time don't have a book. And they definitely don't have a system that's engineered to help them make $1 million a year. Like, I mean, that alone is so much value, and you're giving it to them in a half a day. Like, it's mind blowing what you're doing here. And I'm excited. I mean, this is
thank you.
awesome.
And I'm going to give you guys the same benefits we give our VIP day clients. Okay. The VIP experience has a value of hundreds of thousands of dollars that went into creating this system. And guess what? If you don't even have an offer, you can use ours. We make it so easy. I don't want
Wow.
you to have any reason or excuse to not do this. If some of you are like, I don't know what book to write, you're going to get clarity on all of this.
Mm.
So I promise you by the end of the training, you're going to have your outline done. You're going to know how much money your book can make. You're going to be clear on what you should be offering your readers on the back end if you don't have an offer. And if you are already in business, you're going to learn how you can add an extra 6 or 7 figures a year. So we have very limited spots in VIP, and there's only so much time to serve in that hour. So I just want to invite you to go to the link below, save your spot, and register. And I can't wait to see you guys there.
This is amazing. Guys, this take advantage of this opportunity because I don't know how long it's going to be available, to be honest. And I mean, this is the time. This is taking action, doing it now, and transforming your life. I mean, what is it going to take to write a book? You've already been thinking about writing a book. This is your call to do it now. So click the link down below, join Melanie and her half day program. This is going to be a transformative experience, not only for your business, but for your life. Just transforming the way that you do business. Do it the right way instead of the
This
hard way.
This took me from negative 3.6 million to positive 4 million in only 18 months. This process,
Wow.
and you're not going to have to lose millions of dollars trying to figure it out the hard way. Okay. Can I just make it easy for you guys?
Yeah.
So I can't wait to meet y'all. I want to hear all about your book ideas, and I want to show you the fastest path to the cash. Like, how can you take these things and create them so quickly? And even ways to monetize your book. You're going to learn, and when you come to the VIP hour, how one of our clients made $60,000 in 48 hours before she wrote one word. And get
Whoa.
this, English is her second language. Isn't that cool? So people think you have to write the book before you make money. That's not true. That's a myth. It's a limited belief. And I'm going to show
Whoa.
you how you can even monetize starting right now today, before you even write one word, how you can start making money off your book right now.
Mm. Wow.
That's all in VIP. So don't
Oh
miss
my
it.
gosh. Okay, you guys, I'm going to make sure to put the link down below. Make sure to register. This is it. This is it. This is what you've been wanting. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Melanie, for being here. This is an amazing experience. I love learning more about you and all of the value, I mean, the expertise that you are pouring into the system to transform lives. I appreciate you. Thank you
Thank
for being here.
thank you for having me. Can't wait to meet you all, and we'll see you on the inside.
All right. Bye bye now.